everyone. This video has been a long due, and previously I have already made my a video that talks about how I got PR or ITA from Canada thrice. And however, I also did mention some of the documents that I've submitted, and a lot of people have reached out to me in terms of the documentation. So I thought, why not make a small video just specifying what are the necessary documents required for PR processing. So let's get started. So the first and foremost thing that obviously you need to create your profile. The creating your profile is you need to start with your username, your login ID and login password, and then given your basic details like your personal details, your career details, and other sections. In terms of documentation, the first and foremost document you need is your passport details. You'll have to show your passport details, even if they are expired, at least to be safe, on the safer side. So the first and foremost file document that you need is your passport scanned document that you require is English test. So it's IELTS, which mostly been used for this process, and you need to have the test score of you having the required number, which is 8777. I don't know if it has been changed, but ever since I have been taking up the course, 8777 is has been the number, the magic number that people wants to target. So you'll definitely need that test score, and that's an important entry of you applying for PR. The third document that you would need is the ECA. So last time in the last video I mispronounced it as ECS. So it's actually ECA. It's an accredited certificate saying that your the courses that you have studied, like your educational qualification, is equally credible to Canadian universities. So this is one important document that you need to submit. In addition to that, with ECA, you will have to also, this helps you in knowing whether your master's or your bachelor's is equal to the master's provided or the bachelor's provided by the Canadian university. I've seen a lot of people have this issue with their master's being credited as diploma. So most of the time this happens because maybe the institution that you have done masters may not be a recognized one, or at least not in the eye of the Canadian government. So that's the reason why they want this accreditation, because when you have masters, there is points allocated in terms of the CRS scores. So that's why it's important to have this document. The next document that I like to mention here is the PCC. So PCC is nothing but Police Clearance Certificate. Police Clearance Certificate is simple. You just, if you have not made any criminal offense, I'm sure none of you people would have done, but it's a proof saying that you are a legitimate, legal, law-abiding citizen of India or any country that you are in. You're from. If you have also stayed at different country for more than 6 months, that's what they say. If for more than 6 months, if you have stayed in a different country, you have to provide your police certificate from that country as well. So in my case, I did provide FBI certificate from US because I did stay there for 2.5 years. So that's another important information that you need to add in terms of PR processing. Next document is, which is very important, is the proof of funds. Plan this out when you start your PR processing as to how much sufficient funds that you have to have. So there is, if you have seen here, you would see that there is a list of and funds that you need in terms of the family composition that you're traveling. You can show this document in a form of a bank letter. Make sure that you're in the bank letter, you should specify account name, owner name, which it should be you, and the tenure, how long have you been the owner of the account, 6 months period or the last 6 months period of the balance, account balance from your the money that you have, and also the average balance, monthly average. So basically they just want to see if your monthly average is beyond the required amount, and if it's required amount, that's going to be the only thing that they're going to check. So make sure you have all your account balances specified in an average aggregation, and which will obviously help the officer to validate your document. The final most important document is the work reference letter. In my case, work reference letters were the most tedious one to get, because obviously you would have been working in a organization and you didn't want to disclose that you're looking to travel outside, right? So that was a bit of a challenge. However, you if you are declaring that you have so and so experience from this company, then you have to provide the work reference letter from that company. You will have to showcase that you are having the required skills from a particular NOC code. For example, I've been working all my life in data analytics and data science, so the NOC code was relevant to that. So in my work reference letter, I made sure that my job responsibilities and duties were aligned with what an analyst, a data analyst would do. So those are the key terms that they will specifically note to make sure or validate that this person has the relevant analytic skills or the skills that you're like trying to showcase. So make sure that you have those lists. And the another additional item, you need to also specify your salary or any promotion that you have had during that time. So those are the details that you need to definitely mention in your work reference letter. The most important document is work reference letter, because I've seen people have had experiences where the IRCC mentioning them about another document, or asking them another document validating the experience, and you don't want to be in that situation when an IRCC asks you for another supporting documents. So those are the main important documents that you need for the processing. However, there are certain additional documents that you would need based on your situation. For example, some of you might have been a married couple, or you might have had kids. So maybe you have your wife who's pregnant, and so these are the things that happen. You'll have to provide then and there additional documents, giving them reasons, that at least saying them that these things are happening. So for example, if you have married, you have in between your processing, if you get married, you have to provide your marriage certificate, also add in your dependent to your profile. Secondly, unfortunately, if you have been divorced during this process, then you have to provide documents related to your specifying that you are no longer with your partner, so that they are aware of what's happening. And in terms of processing, they are aware that this person is traveling like single or married, or they have a dependent, or they have a kid. So these are the things that you have to note. And in addition to that, I always feel that adding letter of explanation, LOE, in short terms, is very important, because sometimes when you provide these documents, not every document can be perfect, right? You will have to have certain, sometimes you'll have to explain some, if you have a career gap, you'll have to explain that. So in certain cases, you can write a simple document of explanation, wherein say that, for example, you have been 1 month of, you have a 1 month or 6 months of career break due to personal situation. Then you can explain it in the document, saying that from period to period, I have been looking at my parents, or I've been in this situation. And that validates your perception, and it gives you, it gives the perspective, IRCC officer, the perspective that you are trying to say certain things that are valid. So that's an important document, and it has helped a lot, because in during my case, I had also certain things that I needed a lot of explanation. So I did add letter of explanation in my profile. And finally, you would also need a digital photo, and obviously there will be specifications provided to you on what would be the specifications for the photo and how it has to be. So the digital photo is also something that is very important, because there are certain cases where people have not submitted based on the specification, and the applications got rejected. So you don't have to be in that side. So it's always important that you do and submit all your documents as per the specification. And people who are going through immigration consultant, always make sure you check with them and know what's happening in the back end, because most of the time they do the most of the process, and you are in the in a black box. You essentially doesn't know what's happening, and it is not a good thing to be in when you're putting heart and soul in moving to a different country. It is something that you have to take care of. So these are the documents, and that is really essentially needed for your PR processing. If you feel this video was useful, please do like, share, and subscribe. Catch you next week.